Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there had a good weekend. Y'all, happy Monday. We're back with another reaction. Let's get this week started off right. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, he came to see me on a rooftop in New York. I said, hey, can I talk to you? And he said, sure. And he floated in sideways through a crowd of people. He was wearing black. And it was like one of those old vampire movies where they don't walk, but they glide. And he was a dancer, you know, so he has he's very, graceful. Yeah. And he moved sideways and he just sat down in a chair next to me. And it kind of frightened me. And he's a very smart guy. And we started talking, and I didn't, say much of anything about reading the script, nothing. I just started talking about the Middle Ages. And he began to talk tortures. And we swapped tortures because I'd read this book on torture. And I tried to recall some of the most heinous things I'd ever read in this book. And he was like, oh, and he'd try and top it. And my assistant was there, and he left because he couldn't stand it anymore. Yeah. The air had turned cold. And then he left, and I wanted to leave. And because I knew that I didn't want to work with him. Yeah. And he was getting scary. Yeah. And then I turned around, and it was on top of the Peninsula Hotel. I turned around to avoid his steady gaze at one point. Yeah. And I was looking at a building with the top of the sixes on it. So there was a huge illuminated triple six in red. Yeah. And I went from that to that to that, and he started smiling. And I thought, oh no, Chris Walken is the Antichrist.
Let's talk about Denver Airport. There's a chilling theory surrounding that place. No one really knows why it was built in the first place. Denver already had a fully functioning airport downtown, yet they chose to construct this one, spending $2 billion over budget and finishing 2 years late. Strange, right? But what's really unsettling is the 5-story underground facility beneath the airport. Some believe it's a doomsday bunker for the elite. Officials, however, claim it's just an unused baggage system. Still, that doesn't explain the eerie atmosphere. All over the airport, there are disturbing murals, images of destruction, chaos, and even apocalyptic scenes, complete with monstrous figures. Then there's the infamous Blue Horse statue, nicknamed Lucifer. It stands over 30 feet tall with glowing red eyes. Even stranger, the artist who created it tragically died during its construction when a piece of the horse fell on him, killed instantly. Yet, they completed it anyway. And if that wasn't enough, there are rumors of 2 secret runways, supposedly used by the government. Then there's the time capsule, buried in 1994 and set to remain sealed until 2094. Could it hold the key to these bizarre mysteries? Only time will tell.
This photo was found in the parking lot of a convenience store in Florida in 1989. And this photo still to this day has still not been identified. So this lady had just finished shopping when she found this photo on the ground. So she immediately called the cops. The cops reached out to Polaroid. Polaroid told the cops that this photo had to be taken after May of 1989. So that means the photo was at most a month and a half old. So this photo goes viral. So this family in New Mexico, they had a daughter named Tara Calico who had gone missing. missing. So they said that looked just like their daughter. But the cops examined the photo and said, that's not your daughter.
What?
The boy in this picture is thought to be this kid named Michael Henley. Michael Henley had also gone missing in New Mexico in 1988. His family also believed that this was him. Once again, though, the cops said that is not Michael. I want you guys to look at this side by side. Tell me that that does not look like the same kid.
Yeah, it does.
2 years later, in 1990, Michael's remains were found in the park about 2 miles from where he originally went missing. To this day, Tara has never been found. She is still missing, and the 2 people in that picture have never been identified almost 40 years later.
Wow. Check this out, yo. This is what's happening in Brazil? Am I late on something? You imagine driving down a rural road, dirt road? There's outer space.
I figured out this freaking alien thing. Antarctica. Get a pen and a piece of paper and spell Antarctica backwards.
Do not eat that butter. Eat the margarine. It's heart friendly and it's plant based. And we were basically just wrong about everything, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. I remember Fleischmann's margarine. I grew up on that. The truth is, we had this view that processing was good, that all these new innovations in food were good, that it was going to help human health. It was going to help us live better lives. It was more convenient, but it was a massive initiative by the food industry to subvert public health and to disintermediate people from their kitchens by insinuating processed food into the American home in every way possible. Betty Crocker was an invention of the food industry. And if you know a Betty Crocker cookbook, most of you probably had that at home. Betty Crocker was not a real person. She was a fake person that was supposed to compete with this home ec teacher named Betty, who was promoting healthy food and gardens and teaching mothers to cook and raise healthy families. And they're like, no, we need convenience. So they started putting out, look at the recipe. You can put 1 can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup in your casserole, or add 1 roll of Ritz crackers to your broccoli, thing. And it's like they sort of slowly would disrupt the kitchen. And now most people don't even actually know how to cook. And I've heard that they're now building apartments without even kitchens in them.
Oh, really?
Wow.
It's terrifying. I think we need to take back our kitchens. We need to take back our bodies. And again, this is sort of why I think people need to be empowered with their own health data and their own health information.
Satan is not against good morals. He is opposed to Jesus Christ. A man can have good morals his entire life, yet you and I know he will go to hell when he dies. It is Jesus Christ that everyone needs, and the devil knows this more than all of us.
Dr. Anderson.
Satan's goal is to remove the name of Christ from his commands, and when we do this, people are deceived into thinking that if they live a good life, they will receive God's approval and attain heaven.
I think we can use morals to attract people to the Lord.
Yes, but the ultimate issue with Christianity is the authority of Christ, and the devil is attacking this authority by convincing us to teach morals alone. And our young people are becoming more disrespectful. Now, I believe that this is a direct result of eliminating the authority of Jesus Christ from his commands.
I just wanted to know, what did President Joe Biden do today? I hope that you heard that he signed something that would allow Ukrainian military to use U.S.-made weapons to fire inside of Russia. Now, Vladimir Putin has been saying since this war began that if any country did that, he would consider it an act of war with that country. So I ask you, Why did President Biden leave his legacy? He only has 2 more months in office. Why did he try to leave his legacy that he started World War III? Now, we know they will be out of office in 2 months. And personally, I don't believe that President Biden actually signed that agreement. He's on vacation. Why would he stop from a vacation and then start a war? The whole optics behind it make absolutely no sense. So whomever is running Washington decided this is how they think about Americans and about people throughout the world. They decided that when they leave, they're going to leave World War III. And they don't care about the people that are here. They don't care who survives it. They don't care what happens to all of the people in the world. However, we do have the right president for it, but I want everybody to say, please tell everyone you know that the Democrat Party has decided to start World War III when they got out of office. Although President Biden had President Trump had a mandate when he won the elections on November 5th. But the Democrat Party decided that they were going to give President Trump World War III. It is mind-boggling that these people could do this and not care about Americans and not care about people all over the world.
Today, there's a lot of talk in the media about us receiving permission for respective actions. But strikes are not carried out with words. Such things are not announced. Missiles will speak for themselves. Glory to Ukraine.
NBC News has confirmed President Biden will now allow Ukraine to strike inside Russia with long-range missiles. This marks a significant policy shift, and it comes after Biden officials condemned the North Korean deployment of troops to Russia as a possible expansion of the war.
They're going to make food real again. You know, people.
You think we're going to get involved now? I think something big's going to happen these last 2 months. They're going to go out with the bang and leave him with hell on earth. And going to blame it all on him. That's all they're going to talk about for 4 years. It was him. It was him. See, he comes into office and look what happens.
Go to Europe for a month, bro, and they fucking go all over the place and they lose weight. You know what I'm saying? They eat, they drink. People don't understand this. There's all kinds of addictive chemicals in fast food and the processed shit that you get at the grocery store. This is a huge deal for America. And we're going to see people get in shape, and leads back to what's really going to make this country great, which is the individual, right? And we can't have a great country with unhealthy individuals. What RFK's doing is very foundational to the quote unquote make America great agenda. You know what I mean? If you don't have a healthy individual, how are you going to have a healthy country? If you don't have strong individuals, how are you going to have a strong country? If you don't have intelligent individuals, how are you going to have an intelligent country? If you don't have wealthy individuals, how are you going to have a wealthy country? None of these things that we want in society can exist until we as individuals become them. Health has to do with that. It's a pillar of that process.
The family.
Now, I know just yesterday's video, they were eating McDonald's on a private jet. But can you imagine if in these next 4 years, just we as a whole, just start losing weight? They stop putting the junk in the food. They stop putting the junk in the junk food and making junk food even junkier. And the cravings go away. We don't crave it no more. We don't fiend for it no more. So we stop eating it as much. Maybe get a healthy relationship with it. Because I'm all for, a burger and fry here and there. It's just the everyday, multiple times a week that's bad. But we have addictions. We're addicted to it. Imagine if they start taking all those food addictions out of the food and we get a healthy relationship with it. Everyone starts getting in shape.
Of a missing Gossip Girl star have insisted she has been brainwashed by a Christian cult. Chanel Maya Banks was reported missing earlier this month by her family after they claimed they hadn't heard from her in 2 weeks before she was found safe in Texas. When she was discovered, Banks said she was fleeing her family to be baptized by doomsday pastor Robert Clancy, who had recently advertised a 3-day end times prophetic gathering in Texas and claimed her family had abused her.
So I'm watching the NFL highlights on the NFL Network, and this comes up.
Download the Caesar Sportsbook app, an official sponsor of the NFL. New users place their first bet up to $1,000. If you lose, you'll get
and
it back as a bonus.
It's absolute insanity. It's truly insane.
The
NFL is basically saying, we want you to gamble. We want you to gamble. We want you to put money on our games. We want you to lose money on our games because obviously you're going to lose. We want you to engage in addictive behavior. It's insane. When I was growing up, Major League Baseball suspended or actually banned Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays for working for casinos. This is after they retired. NFL players who were involved in gambling were fucked. Joe Namath had to give up a bar he owned because one of his partners was a gambler. Like, it's insane what's changed. And basically what's changed is they see the money. That's all it's about. It's a money grab for these things. They don't care how dangerous it is. They would freaking partner with Big Tobacco happily if they could nowadays, if there's any way they could do it. It's all about money. And it actually really pisses me off because I've seen the dangers of gambling. I know many people have gotten addicted to gambling. Gambling has become a thing not just for adults who love football, but for kids, underage people using the apps. It's a big problem in schools across America.
I bet.
It really, truly, truly bothers me in a major, major way.
So well, they legalized it. It's not legal here in Texas, so I can't get on those apps. I'm not much of a gambler, but I might throw, $15 on a game that has no meaning to me just to make it fun, Not all the time, but it's crazy because on those ads, at the end of the ad, they have like the Gambling Anonymous or whatever, their phone number if you have a gambling addiction. That's all insurance. They have to put that on the end of their videos, but they are promoting it. They don't have Big Tobacco, but they got alcohol companies. They're their number one sponsors, alcohol companies to the NFL. Yeah, at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium, they got the Budweiser zone. Big old Budweiser sign over there. They serve nothing but Budweiser over there. You want to get drunk? Go over there.
China's definitely capitalizing on drone swarms, as you can plainly see in this video. They're also struggling to find out ways that they can counter drone swarms as well. Now, recently, China's conducted air defense drills in order to test its capabilities against drone swarms. And even the CCTV report from the Chinese state broadcaster said that they were only able to achieve about a 40% damage rate against a drone swarm with their first round of anti-aircraft artillery that was launched. Now, the thing about drone swarms that's not something that's commonly discussed is the fact that they can integrate diverse tactics into being used, such as a drone swarm could divert fires by sending off a group in one direction while another direction swarms in a different angle in order to strike weakened defenses, for example. Now, there's a lot of direct energy weapons and broad spectrum beam weapons that are out there that can be used to counter these things. And I know I heard it on the Sean Ryan podcast as well, that we've got stuff that can take out drones pretty well at this point. But as far as deploying it on a massive scale, that I don't know.
Yeah. And he says, we're stacking them up in a warehouse.
Yeah.
We don't even know who they are.
Yep.
They're still finding them along the river.
Oh, yeah. They found a lady with 4 kids in her van, dead.
Yeah.
In Swannanoa,
that place
last week?
Is bad.
Yeah, that was a week ago.
I've been over there twice now.
And that's every day in areas out here. They're finding groups of bodies.
Still finding pieces
but
up in
only
trees.
230 from the entire storm across all the states.
She says, I was just with a woman that they took her 3 children, and one of them's autistic. I said, where are they going to put them? She said, they're going to separate them, put them in foster homes.
Yeah.
I said, how do you get them back?
And you don't have to grow up in the Amazon. If you're there 3 weeks, you begin to get the message that, my God, this is some kind of a brain. You take a lung full of air, and it's like a symphony of odors, which you know to be pheromones, carrying messages from one member of a species to another, from species to species. So then you shift your sensory focus to sound, and you realize, that languages are going on all around you, hundreds of them, between species, among species. The tropical rainforest is the most exquisitely ordered process on the planet. And any culture which grows up with that as its front yard is going to be a culture immersed in the Tao, inevitably, because you don't survive unless you come to terms with it on its terms. None of your rules count for anything. It sets all the boundary constraints, and you see the exquisite ordering, how it all works, the economy of form, the economy of resource, and the depth of its pure communication.
You're not going to believe your eyes. Watch this. This is military satellite footage of that Malaysian flight that went missing a couple years ago. You see the 3 things circling the plane? Watch what happens. Wait for it.
Is this real, y'all? It's like the 5th video I've seen of this.
All right, guys, just my thoughts here. Okay, hang with me. We have the fake Prince of Peace on the scene, correct? Donald Trump. Okay, we have Donald Trump now. Best friends, Elon Musk. Chip in the brain guy, right? Okay, we have the big narrative of the aliens now living in the ocean. The government has just came out and said, all this talk about the aliens, all right? Hang with me now. Okay, jump over to the Middle East. High talks of the third temple being built by who else? Donald Trump. Okay, what if in this last month and a half, before Donald Trump takes office, everybody's declaring peace is coming, peace and safety, right? We know the word of God says when they declare peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them, and they will not escape. What if the rapture happens in the next month and a half before Donald Trump takes office? They blame it on the aliens. Third temple gets set up for the abomination of desolation. Boom! Putting the pieces together.
What if I told you anxiety doesn't exist? Doesn't exist. Do you know what there are only 4 basic human emotions? Anxiety is not one of them. Do you know what the 4 basic human emotions are? Mad, sad, glad, and scared. All other emotions are a volume knob on one of those 2. Right? Everything. So really, for you, long term, one of the things that's going to help you is figuring out what is driving this anxiety state. One little hint, it's fear. Scared drives anxiety.
I was going to say, I didn't see that full clip. I just saw the beginning of it. I was going to say, well, isn't anxiety just a little bit of fear and scared? A little bit of all those emotions mixed in one. Little joy, little happy still in there, right? You get a little happy when you're anxiety and a little low. So it's a roller coaster. So, yeah, I agree with them. How I didn't see this clip. That was my first time watching it, and scared and fear, loneliness, a little bit of anxiety right there.
Ignore my other videos. Every fucking one of them. My son just came in right now. Took a couple videos. This is passing through Kingman, Arizona, heading north. So everybody out in New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, wherever this thing is going, keep track of it, all right? Check this shit out. Full. And it was hauling ass right about 10:20 through Kingman, Arizona. Eyes open.
I've seen something like that driving to Arizona from Texas. It's in the middle of nowhere. That doesn't look like it's in the middle of nowhere. Mine was in the middle of the desert. Train like that, full of military vehicles.
Holy crap, that was nothing but military trucks on that. That's all it was.
Y'all think the aliens are just in the oceans? Just wait till they announce that they're here, in our societies, in our communities. They're our neighbors, our friends. You may be one, and you don't even know it. Oh, it's about to get real fun.
Ask Denny's original Grand Slam is still just $1.99.
$1.99? Are you out of your mind?
Crazy. 2 eggs, 2 hotcakes, 2 bacon strips, 2 sausage links, just $1.99. Denny's Grand Slam from 5 a.m. till 10 at night, Monday through Friday, just $1.99.
$1.99? Are you out of your mind?
And next week, will Denny's Grand Slam still be $1.99? Only if the sun comes up.
Where's the profit in that? It's 2 eggs, 2 bacons, 2 sausage, 2 pancakes, probably some toast. How do they make a profit? What was bacon? 5 cents back then? What was rent? The mortgage on the Denny's location, the rent for the property. Bring them days back, y'all. Bring those days back. People were lean back then too when it was only $1.99. Here you guys go. This is the skyline on Mars. Straight from NASA. Thought you guys would appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed this little clip. There it is, y'all. There's Mars for straight for NASA's TikTok. Beautiful, huh? I have a little bit of filters in there.
I think that the reason we are as involved in Ukraine as we are is because Afghanistan wound down. And if we still had Afghanistan to launder money through, there probably wouldn't be the need for this type of excessive involvement in Ukraine. But I think we can look at Afghanistan and we can look at what's going on here and say what a lot of these defense contractors are pushing toward is how to have an extended kind of low yield war. Like if there's a way to stretch this thing out, turn it into a 20, 30 year kind of thing where there's a whole lot of money moving around and unaccountable pots and a lot of weapons getting bought. And then, oh man, the stockpiles, well, we got to spend more money to reload those.
The Simpsons put out their series finale, or a leak, or at least that's what's being said, right? And it leaves people confused, because if you saw the clip of it, or if you saw the show, it's an entire reset. This is super important, because the Simpsons have been famous for, some say predicting, others say for sort of telling you what's going to happen down the pipeline. I have no opinion in that. This video is just for entertainment. I have zero idea. What I will say is that the show is emphasizing the word reset. Reset is the word that's emphasized. And at the end, it's stated that the show's not over, but it's just a reset. We see what's been going on in this world and everything that's happening, man. And people are still confused. Why are you guys confused? Pick up your Bible and read it. It's all in there. I'm not confused. My Christian brothers and sisters aren't confused. We see all this stuff and we know who's behind it. We know who runs it, who approves it, who puts the shows on. We know why the words are used the way they're used. I used to act in shows. I know everything is deliberate. When it's put in there, when you see it, especially a cartoon that has to be drawn out and they have to practice it, it's on purpose. A reset, not a series finale. Their world isn't ending. It's being reset. If you know, you know.
I ask that we all stand for one last song.
Took off.
All right, sounds good. Whoa. Jeremy? Jeremy! Jeremy! Jeremy!
You ain't even paying attention.
Have you seen this bird? Police in Missouri are frantically trying to find it. It's been a rebel, and it's been starting wildfires across the state, and it's been crazy. It's burned. I think now they said it's up to 75% of the wildlife in the state has been burned by this bird. And so it's learned to use its beak to create sparks. So it will hit its beak against the rock like this, and it will spark, and it will put a little kindling down. And when it starts on fire, it will grab it, fly it to some dry brush, and start it on fire. The police have engaged with scientists because they've never seen this type of behavior before. And the scientists, by looking at the video, have said that they think that this bird has accessed parts of its brain that no other birds have before. And so it's smarter. But it's got like a serial killer tendency to it where it just wants to wreak havoc. And so if you've seen this bird, they said don't approach it, but call authorities and let them know where it is.
Santa Claus. What's this about? Santa Claus is the master of the elves. The elves that he is master of are demon artificers. They make toys for the world's children in their vast underground toy shops. And where are these underground toy shops? At the North Pole. I don't have to tell a room full of Jungians that the North Pole is the Axis Mundi, Yggdrasil, the magic world ash, the center of the mandala. What are the colors of Santa Claus? Red and white, the colors of Amanita muscaria. Absolutely. What is the titulary animal of Santa Claus? Reindeer. Reindeer are very central to the Amanita muscaria cult because reindeer eat the mushroom and then excrete their urine, and this is thought to be a cleaner and easier way to take the mushroom than to take it on the so-called first pass. The second pass is after the reindeer have had it.
The guy almost gets killed twice. They don't even talk about it. It's scary, man. It's nuts. Almost gets killed twice, and the second one, they just brushed it off. Like, I don't even think the guy got a shot off. Guy was set up at a golf course for 12 hours with a bulletproof vest on an AK-47 and was specifically there to kill Trump. You don't think that's crazy?
Barely got covered.
Barely. One thing that you can see really clearly is there is a ferocious effort to stop Donald Trump from becoming president again that I've never seen before. That guy makes so much more sense. Yeah. So common sense and just calling out all the nonsense that's been done.
Comment on one spectacular social housing project of his, and that is the brand new lavish apartment that he bought his friend, the new consul general to New York. $9 million for his friend Tom Clark to have stunning powder room, a handcrafted copper soaking tub, custom bronze bathroom fixtures, $5,000 coffee machine. Did the Prime Minister go and...
This is Brian. I'm at Walton Rocks Beach. This is important, okay? There's a simulated rainbow here, okay? But they're landing, okay? I'm making videos right now. The actual spacecraft are landing right now, tonight, okay? Look at the rainbow, okay? It's a quadruple rainbow. Actually, there's 6 rainbows here, okay? Like I said, it's a projection on the beach right now, but in the background, the clouds are getting closer, okay? Well, they're getting ready to land here on the East Coast, right now, okay? Walton Rocks Beach, Florida. The nuclear reactor is right here, and I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure I know why. It looks really nice. That looks nice. Can we go for a triple rainbow? Look how beautiful this is.
Holmes is starting to panic. It is so bad. I've joked about this, but I've never actually seen a home builder do this before. It has gotten so bad that Lennar is now suggesting they have limited inventory, but they're running a Black Friday sale
Doesn't
on
make
homes.
sense.
I've never seen this before. Lennar Homes now selling from $499. And if you want to see beauty, I'm going to show you beauty right over here. This is what you get. You get yourself a townhouse with a basement, and you get, for $499, no driveway and a row of mini splits in the back. How beautiful does that look? I've never seen infrastructure so beautiful. What is this?
Who would pay $500,000 for a townhome? No yards. Can't let your dog out to go pee. You got to take him on a walk. No driveway, just a garage. No space. $500,000? You can get yourself some good land and a nice house on top of that land in certain states. Who would want to? I'm sure in that state, that state looked pretty rural. Like they got some rural spots. You can go get you 5 acres and a nice 3-bed, 2-bath house for $500,000. Black Friday, y'all. It's on sale.
This is why you can't trust the news.
You know,
Watch this.
We're going to use the at least 59 people killed, at least 149 people wounded. Those numbers are going to go up. There's just no question about that. I mean, you have fierce fighting in a number of locations around the country. You mentioned Chernobyl. Russian forces quickly overtaking that area. We understand they are still in control. The other thing that went down today that was of huge importance was Russian paratroopers went into
most
an
of the
airfield.
media is just full of lies, and they're full of themselves. And if you know the media is full of lies, type in the comments facts and subscribe or follow for more content like this.
Did you guys see this interview between Diddy and Wendy Williams that aired 7 years ago? Look at how she reacts when he tells her that he met her son backstage.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage, he
did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
you represent a lot to a lot of people in general. I mean,
people think that Diddy said this to intimidate her because, I mean, we all know Wendy knew a lot about what was going on in Hollywood. If you haven't watched this interview, I suggest you do, because I couldn't believe how much Diddy was lying throughout this entire video. He was actually dating Cassie during this time, and when he was asked about his relationship with her, he made it seem like they had a perfect relationship and that he really loved her.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe, because she was a big time radio host in New York, she said something, I don't know, relating to his parties or what, and he got her kicked off the air. So that's why she's on TV. And look at them buddy over there. Right? This girl probably didn't even know that. She didn't even know. She don't even know the facts, the history. She's new to the game. But I believe he got her kicked off the air because I forgot what she said. I'm gonna have to do some research on that to see, but I know he did something to get her kicked off the air on the radio because she exposed something about him.
During this interview, she also asks him about Biggie's death and if he feels responsible, and this is what he said.
Do you ever feel responsible in any way? In any way?
I mean, the thing that I think I always feel some sort of, responsibility because I'm in this thing with him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's my artist, and he was supposed to go to London that night, and I let him talk me into not going to London and staying in LA, and that's something that really bothered me throughout my life. Is sometimes you have to really go with that decision in your gut, and in my gut I was like, you need to get on the plane, but sometimes when you don't listen to your gut, and this is God's world, it's his plan.
But if you go and check out Gene Deal's interviews, he was Diddy's former bodyguard back in the day, and he was there when Biggie died, and he says that Diddy was responsible.
Why has nobody been to the moon since?
Now I heard he didn't want to go out. The whole time Biggie was in LA, he didn't go out. It wasn't until that night he got shot because Diddy wanted him, forced him to go to the club, but he didn't want to go. And they knew something was up. They were getting calls from prison saying, hey, they're coming after you tonight. You shouldn't go out. That's what I heard. We might have to do a reaction to an old school Queens flip with his bodyguard, because he breaks down some things. He was the first one that started exposing all this stuff about him.
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know what I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
But we're going back to the moon to try to learn what all we need to do to sustain human life under very adverse and hostile conditions.
Look at this. This is diorite, right? Incredibly hard stone. Look at the perfection with which it is made. And then look inside. This bit is actually, you can go inside. It's hollowed out inside with perfect regularity. Yep. And how that was done with twirling a stick beats me. And it beats anybody who's seriously looked at these objects. Again, we're dealing with some kind of technology that we do not understand. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was a very high-tech, machine-age technology, but it means that we're looking at the end results of a process that we cannot replicate and that we have not got to grips with yet.
they said, give this beautiful planet a creature with intelligence and free will and see what they do with it.
Yes.
So that's what they've been allowing us to do, these things.
The grand experiment.
And the prime directive is the one on Star Trek of non-interference. You cannot interfere with the development of a civilization. So they've been watching us and observing us. And every time they would give us something, we turn it into a weapon or something like that. And I asked them one time, isn't that interference to give us fire, give us agriculture? And they said, no, because that is a gift we give you at one time at your point of development. And then what you do with it is free will. And as we turn it around and use it negative, that's our free will to do that. And I said, well, can't you come back and tell them they're doing it wrong? They said, no, because that is interference. That's what's not allowed. So this brings us up to the 3 waves. Because at the end of World War II, when we dropped the atomic bomb, really got their attention. And if you remember, at the end of World War II is when the big UFO flap began.
Got this call from a guy at the Vatican, and this is all based on, that movie, right? Heard you're in town with your family. Would you like to come and walk through the Vatican Museum and the Sistine Chapel by yourselves without any tourists?
Wow. So
the idea that we could walk in there by ourselves, absolutely. I'll do it exactly the way I do it on stage for you, man, because it's a funny moment, This guy comes up and he goes, Russell, for you today, I will turn on the lights of the Pope. I said, sorry? He goes, well, the Pope, he likes to come to the chapel to meditate. He likes to see all the beautiful colors. So we put in some lights. And he turns on these lights. I mean, that ceiling is amazing in natural light. When it's got like 16 spotlights on it, man, and you can see the real color of the light blue of the sky and the reds, and you can almost, with that much light on it, feel like you can see the paint strokes. So you're there under Michelangelo's genius in the light. And I said to the guy, that was amazing. Why did you do that? And he goes, Russell, please, Massimo, you are the 8th king of Rome.
Indians, because that's what they are. They're the Indians. There's nothing wrong with the word. First of all, it's important to know that Indian, that word probably does not derive from Columbus believing he had reached India in 1492. India was called Hindustan. More likely, the word derives from Columbus's description of the people he found here. In his written accounts, he called the Indians una gente in Dios, a people in God. In God, in Dios, Indians. It's a perfectly noble thing. And I simply can't justify this awkward phrase, Native Americans. First of all, they're not natives. They came here from Asia over the Bering Land Bridge. In fact, there are no natives anywhere in the world. Everyone is from somewhere else. All people are refugees, immigrants, or aliens. If there are natives anywhere, it would have to be people still living in the Great Rift Valley in Africa. So everyone is just visiting. So much for native. As far as calling them Americans is concerned, well, how can I say this? We steal their hemisphere, destroy 500 cultures, kill 20 million, stick the rest of them on the worst land we can find, and then as a special bonus, we name them after ourselves.
I'm out in the prime cut of the big green. Behind me is Ed and Rowdy. If I retreat, I may be hurt, I may be killed.
This man was eaten alive by a bear. This is Timothy Treadwell, also known as the Grizzly Man. And guys, Timothy had a serious problem. He was obsessed with bears. He spent most of his times around bears, and before long, he became extremely comfortable with them. He would actually walk up to the bears and pet them as if they were a dog. And for whatever reason, the bears didn't attack him. He then felt like he was one of them, and he felt like they welcomed him into their environment. But guys, in October 2003, Timothy decided to push his luck one last time. He flew to Alaska to spend time with the bears as he prepared for their hibernation. Worse, he brought his girlfriend along, even though people warned him not to. Bears are known to be aggressive during that time of the year, but Timothy laughed it off, saying that he was cool with the bears. Timothy and his girlfriend then set up camp in the place called the Grizzly Maze, but they had no weapons, no bear spray, nothing to protect themselves. And a week later, when the pilot came to pick them up, he saw a massive bear pacing back and forth through their campsite. Sensing danger, the pilot quickly flew away and called the park rangers. And when the park rangers arrived, they made a gruesome discovery. They found the deceased body of Timothy and his girlfriend. Their remains were scattered all around their campsite. However, this wasn't the most horrifying part of their discovery. As they were picking up the body parts, one of the park rangers discovered a camera inside the tent that had a 6-minute tape on it. The video had no no visuals, but it did have some audio. The park rangers then played the clip, and for 6 minutes they heard crisper clear audio of Timothy and his girlfriend being eaten alive by a
All right, family, there you have today's reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. How do you guys like the new little setup? You see how I don't even know if you guys noticed, but I did a little something different to where the TikTok's at. Let me know how you guys like it. Let me know if I need to tweak anything, need to fix anything. I'm trying to get back in this algorithm, y'all. I don't know what the heck. I went from getting 100 subscribers a video to 0, you know? So I don't know, something's going on, y'all, but hey, I'm having fun doing these. I'm loving you guys. We're still getting love over here. We're gonna keep banging them out. We'll be back. I've been through worse times with YouTube. This is just a little hiccup, y'all, but hey, this is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. Hope everyone out there has a good Monday, does something productive today. I got to go out there and run the mountain. It's windy, it's cold, it was raining all day yesterday, so it's all muddy out there. My favorite conditions to run the mountain, y'all. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Later.